the sun up from Monday to Sunday. We maxing the limits. My mind running like Tom Cruise on an action movie. Moving a mission, they say that I'm tripping. I've been told I need a vacation, I'm finessing a visit. First class, my feet up high in the air on business, yeah. Travel the city, your city ain't working, it's hard for nothing. She told me don't let up, it's on us to make it, it's on us to crush it. Now it's gonna take some just to make some, so put that in your budget. Yeah, can't keep moving your dreams for cheap when you ain't even budging. What got you bugging? Make you a play, don't be scared, I'm reluctant. You made it from nothing, then figure out your clutching. Everything you want in front of you, ain't no discussion. Look, it's been a long time coming. They ain't cuffing my clock, they tugging. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. They ain't cuffing my clock, they tugging. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, who don't play, 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 who don't play, 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 who don't play, 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 who don't play, 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 play.
It's been a long time coming. Track star, long time running. I exterminate foes, they bugging. I'm joke, I want my nuggets gold. Platinum chain, call them Johnny Dang dog. With my brains, I go off like hurricanes until my diamonds look like rain. My verses, gas, I'm on it, spaz. The business, cash, no money, pass. Kenny said I need a verse, I said give me like 30, I did it in 15 for real. I been on fire, they want me to chill. I been on fire, they want me to.
Look, it's been a long time coming. They ain't cuffing my clock, they tugging. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. They ain't cuffing my clock, they tugging. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, who don't play, 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 who don't, yeah.
And we are back here from Hillsdale High School's campus, ready to go as the Falcons are ready for their second WCAL game of the year against the same opponent they took on yesterday, taking on the Northwestern Huskies, a team they beat 13-3 on Tuesday. And we will have their action here in a couple of minutes. Stay tuned, live and free on the OH Report.
Fickes Furniture, celebrating 100 years in the furniture business, displaying all the latest styles by manufacturers such as Bassett, Flex Steel, Mohawk Flooring, Dutch Craft Bedding and more. With free delivery setup and removal, make your next movie night comfortable with Fickes Furniture, quality furniture at an affordable price. Visit our Jeromesville location or visit us online at fickesfurniture.com.
Day 2 of our softball coverage on the OH Report is brought to you by Sutton Bank. Here in the pregame show as we're ready to go for some WCAL action. Hillsdale Falcons here at home for the first time this year, ready to take on the Northwestern Huskies. Falcons come into today 2-1. Their one loss coming to a top Division I program in Walsh Jesuit last week. Brian, we should be in for an exciting one as they look to go for perfection yet again in the conference.
Yeah, that's right. These Lady Falcons, obviously, they are the cream of the crop within the WCAL, but a top contender here, Northwestern, obviously the 4-0 record before yesterday's showdown against Hillsdale. So looking forward to round 2 here this afternoon on what's a now clearing day after a soggy afternoon.
Knock on wood if you have any nearby yet, as we do have some clouds here in the area. Let's talk about the opposition. Northwestern Huskies 4-1 on the season. They put up 58 runs in their first 4 games until they ran into Hillsdale yesterday on their home place.
That's a lot of runs, man. That means that you've got a potent offense and a lot of kids up and down the lineup that can really hit. So you got to be able to establish base runners out there for some of your big boppers to get out there and contribute. And under Scott Hershey, they were able to do that for the first week and a half of the season. But obviously, a little bit different competition when you're going up against Hillsdale and obviously some superb pitching over on the other side.
This is their second series in the WCAL. They hung Rittman for 30 runs in their 2-game series last week. Gave up just 2 against the Indians. And then also it's the start of a long road stretch for them. 5 of their next 7, including today, they're going to be on the road. Their next 4 are on the road here as well.
Yeah, so that's why you're going to have to rely on players like our player spotlight here tonight to be able to deliver when you're away from home and you're a little bit less comfortable, even though it's an environment that they're accustomed to. But Cortland Hall Obviously, she's played for a couple of seasons here, and they're going to be expecting her with that 750 average to be able to contribute.
Yeah, she's had a hot start here to 2025. She tripled in yesterday's game, so let's see if she can continue to pester the Falcon pitching staff. They're going to pitch one of their best here today. We'll talk about her in a moment. But Hall really doing things, and see if she can continue that hot hitting into this afternoon's contest with the Falcons. Let's talk about the Falcons and Hillsdale's start. They go 2-1, but as we said, the Walsh Jesuit squad beat them 14-1, but that is a top team, not just in Division I, but in all of Ohio.
Yeah, no question. They test themselves. They step outside of the conference. They'll go all over the state. And now with the expanded divisions here in the state of Ohio, to climb all the way up the ladder to Division I, that's a big jump for this Hillsdale team that's down near the bottom of divisions where they're going to be competing so far this season. But a team that it's one of the classes of small schools in the entire state. So every single year when you see that Falcons across the chest, you know that they mean business when they step into the ballpark. And this is a team that yet again loaded, and they're expecting to have a big-time season in 2025.
And they got a big chip on their shoulder as well with that 22-4 record last season. They still lost in the district championship to Tuslaw. So they're looking to reverse things, of course, at the end of this year. And to kind of spotlight one of their players, someone who was struggling earlier on in the season, Jordan Fickes out in center field. She is now batting .400 after a solid day yesterday.
Yeah, she's not going to struggle for long. This girl's just too good, an all-league performer last year, and a kid that, she's just got that family tie and genetics, of course, where there's been a lot of Fickes to come through this program that have been some quality players, softball, baseball, just a very athletic group. And this young lady could be one of the best in the mix. Still has the rest of this junior season to try to light things up, and then a whole nother year still to come. So expecting Jordan to have a really superb season now that she's starting to fill in one of those roles where you start to become a bit of a leader when you're out on the field, and specifically when you're at a smaller school like Hillsdale. So look for Jordan to keep turning that corner and just heading up the mountain to bigger, better, brighter things all season long.
She's batting sixth today, so take maybe a little bit more time to see her out at the plate, but also in center, very good fielder, covers a lot of ground back there with their speed. And then just to kind of talk about both of these teams and where they're at right now, you have solid records to start. You want to keep that going. Northwestern, you've got to think that they have a big test. They just lost to this team by 10 runs. How do you respond to that is going to be the question now.
Well, you've heard that great saying that pressure basically it creates opportunities for you, and for them after coming off of a beating like that, sometimes you do have some nice bounce back moments or some come to Jesus moments, if you will, where you're like, whoa, 4 out of the gates, and then we come into Hillsdale and we run into a buzzsaw. So here on the road, we'll see if that provides a little bit of extra motivation for them to try to have that bounce back season.
Looks like we got some time. We'll go ahead and jump into the keys to the victory for both of these teams, and we'll start with the Northwestern Huskies. And I think the simple fact for them is get on base. So far this year, they've done a really good job at getting on base, drawing walks. They didn't do that as much yesterday, but in their first 4 games, they were able to – their OBP compared to their batting average is way up compared to Hillsdale's.
In order for the hot bats to really matter, you got to be able to get some people out on base, and that can mean a variety of different things. Obviously you can draw walks, you can get hit by a pitch. There's a lot of different ways to try to manufacture a base runner, but if you are swinging a hot bat, obviously that's the most fun way to get the spark, and it seems to be infectious, contagious. If some girl up at the top of the lineup is having a great day, sometimes it'll have that trickle-down effect. So getting off to a hot start, I think I'll even add one more for them, especially after the beating that they took yesterday. I think it could really pay dividends for this Huskies team here on the road to try to get off to a nice start here this afternoon.
OBP for Northwestern compared to Hillsdale, they're at 4.73 compared to the Falcons' 3.72. Both of them hitting in pretty similar areas in the batting average category. But yeah, Northwestern looking to get back to what they had in the first 4 games. On the other side for the Falcons, talking about them, of course, they took that loss to Walsh Jesuit, but of course they tested themselves, and here they are now in conference play where they went 14-0 last year. It's business as usual.
Yeah, this is a team that they want to get tested like that. They like taking losses earlier in the season. That way they can see some of the very best in the state of Ohio. And there are plenty more coming up on their schedule where they're probably going to suffer some L's. But that doesn't matter because the big picture for them is this is a squad they're not accustomed to losing in that district championship game like you alluded to. They are traditionally in the regionals, if not state. I believe that they're like one of the 5th winningest program in the entire state of Ohio when it starts to come to the tournament. So this is a team that, you talk about business, and that means big things.
Let's go ahead and take a look at 2 lineups, both of the lineups here in this one. The top half, of course, Northwestern on the road. They will start at the bats. Looks like Cherry will bat leadoff, sitting in left field. The pitcher today is Elisa Troyan, who is the pitcher, and she bats second. Third is Cuber at short. Worst will bat fourth in the cleanup spot in first base. And then Nussbaum bats 5th at second. Smith will bat 6th at third. And then Hall will bat 7th in center. And then in right, batting 8th is Nevaeh Kirk. And then McLaughlin, who will play behind the plate, she will bat 9th for Northwestern. Huskies out of their huddle. Falcons over in left field in theirs. For them out in the field, pitching today, as we said we were going to get to, we'll get to her now. Kennedy Fickes had a solid performance earlier on in the season. She's 0-1 on the year. Just got hit around a little bit against Walsh Jesuit, but she kind of got set up there, and she's gave up 11 runs in that game, just 2 innings pitched. But a good chance for her to bounce back here against Northwestern.
This could be a good confidence booster for her if she can come out and she can pitch well early on. So both of these teams, I think when you're talking about a league game, they're all pivotal. You want to win each and every single one of them, but particularly early on in the season, if you can get off to a nice start, it's a big springboard for you, and quite the opposite here for Northwestern. If you dip into an 0-2 hole within the league and you're thinking to yourself, man, that's kind of tough, or at least against the top contender here in the league, if you fall behind like that, it can be a challenge to try to start climbing your way slowly up that hill. So I think if they're able to split here with Hillsdale, I mean, it could really mean for Northwestern that the rest of the season looks a little bit different than it does if they come out of here 0-2 against a top contender in the defending WCAL Queens.
So the Falcons make their way to the field. Fickes in the circle here to start for Hillsdale. Of course, the ERA doesn't look too great. Just 1 game started so far, so nobody really looking at that quite yet. It's all about that second game, and we're going to see her here today and what she is able to do in this second game, not just of her season in the circle, but also against Northwestern. So out in the field for Hillsdale, catching is Huber. At first is Phileas, and second is Kiki McFadden. Allie Morgan will play short. Smits at third. Aurora Martin in left field. Jordan Fickes in center. And then also Funk out in right, Willow Funk. And then the designated player is McCrory for the Hillsdale Falcons.
Probably recognize a lot of those names coming back from a season ago, and had a lot of young players break their way into the lineup last season. So for the Falcons, looking to just extend off of that 24-win season that they had last year and try to get off to another fantastic start here in 2025.
So here we go with Game 2. Didn't think we were going to get this in this morning. If you're in the Ashland area, saw quite the hail earlier this morning as that one is shot to left field, and Aurora Martin makes a nice play to make the first out on Cherry, who makes her way back out to the dugout. Brian, when I walked outside after that hailstorm, I went to find the biggest piece that I could, and it was about the size of my thumb. Pretty big size hail coming down in Ashland today.
Yeah, I think we had maybe even a little bit larger come through in Mansfield. I made a video, and my wife brought in a handful too, and I think 5 of those babies filled up the entire palm of her hand. So I was a little nervous. I don't have garages at my house, Jonathan, so I was looking at both of my baby vehicles just sitting out there just getting pummeled.
Oh, the same thing
here.
That
was tough.
There's a swing and a miss from Elisa Troyan. Came away with a double in Game 1. Went 1 for 3 yesterday. Same thing for my dad. Came up running from the basement, ran out to the car, because the car that I'm bringing here today has a little crack on the windshield, so it's already starting to go. So he was definitely running out to make sure that that didn't get any worse. It didn't, fortunately. There's a foul shot from Troyan. Count is 0-2. So far, Northwestern making solid contact on Fickes. Kennedy will square away the 0-2 here. One gone after a pop fly to left that was handled by Martin. Swinging a dribbler. That'll stay in fair play. Third baseman makes the throw, and that one will be out number 2. Schmidt's a nice play over in the hot corner.
Yeah, well defended. Got a nice beat on it. That was smoked pretty well down that third base line. And just a nice toss over to first base for out number 2.
Here is Kuber. That pitch is low for ball 1. Fickes with the 1-0. To Gabby Kuber. Swing and a miss. Same location as the last. That time, Gabby took a swing at it. Here's the 1-1 from the Falcons. That one hung, swung on, grounded to short, and that will do it. It's a 1-2-3 top of the first as Kuber grounds out to Morgan from the Falcons. And we will take a break. Bottom of the first coming up. Falcons ready to swing the bats. Huskies pitching their ace here today in Game 2 against the Hillsdale Falcons. This is Alyssa Troyan, batted second and grounded out to third in the top half of the first. Here she is trying to hold the Falcons to a similar result here in the bottom of the second. Troyan 2-0, 1.27 ERA. Gave up 5 runs in her last outing. Only 2 of them were earned. And we'll see her go up against the best bats in the WCAL right here. Ball fouled back over the netting from the leadoff hitter here for Hillsdale, Liliana McCrory, batting .556. That's the best for the Hillsdale Falcons so far. She was the star of yesterday's game, went 4 of 5 with an RBI, 3 runs scored as well for her. Here is the 0-1. That one will sneak on the outside corner for strike 2.
Yes, nice start. Get ahead here on this opening batter and see if you can't pay it forward with what the Falcons just did to you. 1-2-3 frame.
Troyan will square away the 0-2. Looking away, McCrory. So make it 1-2. That one too high, not going to swing at that, make it an even count at 2-2. Falcons are 6-1 against Northwestern since 2022. They swept them last year and, of course, took game 1 of this series yesterday. That one high. McCrory had to duck. Stay away from that. It'll be a full count.
And while you don't love that number and statistic for Northwestern, if you look up and down the league, that's going to be the case for most of the teams within the conference as well.
Some might not even have a win in their belt. That'll go outside. That'll be the first walk of the day. Send the leadoff hitter for Hillsdale to first base. Up next, Kiki McFadden with a fitting walk-up song.
Yeah, I love it. Puts her in her feelings here to come out into the batter's box, starting things off.
3 for 5 with 2 doubles yesterday. Squaring to bunt. That one misses. Throw down on the steal attempt is a little wild. Not able to be caught by the shortstop, and there's an easy stolen base for McCrory.
Yeah, nice job diving in there, getting low under the ball. And the Falcons, I mean, they just eat it up on the base path. When they get out there, they don't wait long, as you saw their first pitch and a stolen base.
Testing the catcher's arm underneath McLaughlin for Northwestern. Didn't get her that time. They may steal a little bit more in this game. That one misses low. It's 2-0. McFadden pretty much getting a hit on a third of her attempts. 4 RBIs on the year. Here's the situation for her again. Already here in the bottom of the first. That'll be popped up in the infield, though, and the second baseman will close on it. Caught by Nussbaum, and there's out number 1 for the Falcons.
Yeah, well played. A little bit of a breeze that's kind of blowing out toward center field right there. And just a clean break. And Nussbaum records the first out.
Yeah, blowing towards center field. We may see some dingers here today. There were none yesterday. That ball falls in there for strike 1 here in this at-bat. As this is Taylor Schmitz. She was busy yesterday. 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs and a run scored. Swings at that one, drives it to center. That will be caught. Could be a double play opportunity, but no, just able to get back in there was McCrory after the nice catch in center by Hall.
Yeah, pretty good contact right here. Just an even better read, and actually didn't even have to move that much off of her spot out there in center field.
Here's Kennedy Fickes, the pitcher, trying to help herself out here. Takes inside, ball 1. WCAL first teamer from last season. There's plenty of those on this Hillsdale team, many of which came back. But also a couple of losses from graduation. That's popped foul. That will make its way near the crowd. Yeah, this team lost Belle Dalton, a 3-time All-Ohioan, of course, one of the better players in Hillsdale's history. And then also Molly Goon, who was all-district, and Radeline Mast, who's a speedster on the base paths. She was an honorable mention in the league.
Sometimes it's tough. The first 2 names that you mentioned, they were also big personalities. I mean, Molly especially, because that one's just drilled down the left base line. And
McCrory's turning and headed home.
She's in there.
She will score, and on the throw, it'll be an easy base to make it a double. Nice drive from Fickes.
Yeah, Falcons on the board, just trading spaces out there as the runner advances to second. Another look, absolutely drilled down the third base line, and just no hesitation by the base runner. Didn't even have to get dirty on the slide there. McCrory in for the first run of the afternoon.
Giving her a single and an advancement on the throw. They're just swinging a miss on the next batter. Lacey Huber, 1 for 4 on Tuesday. So station to station, the Falcons went on that last at-bat. See if they could do it again. As this ball will go to the backstop, and Fickes has a free base. So she heads to third. Troyan in the circle, getting rocked around a little bit. 2 outs, though. Chance to get out of a pickle with a runner on third, and she's ahead 1-2 now. Huber pops that up. It'll be out of play. Just out of play, that is. Huber's yet to drive in any sort of runs this year. Good opportunity right here for that. Talked about honorees in the league. Last year she was on the second team. In a 1-0 ball game already. Falcons have scored. Here's the pitch. Just high. Make it an even 2-2 with 2 gone.
This could be a critical spot here for the Huskies. If you can get out of here just with 1 run up on the board, probably feeling pretty decent about yourselves.
Another one popped foul, similar spot to the last one. That also just escapes the yard. Huskies maybe could have closed in on that if it was a little closer.
I mean, basically a duplicate shot there.
2-2 count on the catcher. That fouls off of the back umpire's mask. Seems to be all right. Gets a little smirk from the Northwestern side.
You got to be tough and a little bit crazy to stand back there. Not only the abuse that you take sometimes when the balls hit you, obviously, a lot of the fans out here are going to like every call as well.
They've been good so far, but it's the bottom of the first, and they do have the lead. And it's just going to be a 1-0 lead after the third baseman for Northwestern, Smith, throws out Huber to end the bottom of the first. They get a run on the board, Hillsdale does. Not much else after that. Northwestern, they'll bat next here in the top of the second.
Fickes Furniture, celebrating 100 years in the furniture business, displaying all the latest styles by manufacturers such as Bassett, Flex Steel, Mohawk Flooring, Dutch Craft Bedding, and more. With free delivery setup and removal, make your next movie night comfortable with Fickes Furniture. Quality furniture at an affordable price. Visit our Jeromesville location or visit us online at fickesfurniture.com.
Here we go with the top of the second, a little sun shining through in what has been otherwise a cloudy day here in the area in north central Ohio. We're at one of the best facilities in north central Ohio that has allowed us to play this one. Of course, turf infield, great drainage as well. I walked in, this is the first time I've ever been on Hillsdale's baseball softball facility because it's always kind of hidden in the out of the way. They have flood lakes here. So right when I saw that, I knew we were going to be playing.
Yeah, they did an unbelievable job of just putting these turf fields together. That way they can get that premium drainage. And while other teams in the area have had to cancel today, Hillsdale, that's almost never a problem over here unless it's raining right at game time. And it's been a pretty heavy downpour as well.
Taylor Wurst lines that just through between the third and shortstop. Get the first hit of the day for Northwestern. They went 1-2-3 in the first and already get a leadoff hit, so they'll have someone standing on first as Araya Nussbaum will enter the batter's area and try to get a rally going. Find themselves down 1-0 after the Falcons struck in the first inning.
Yeah, nice look at that last bat there by Wurst.
Drag bunt will just trickle back towards us for a foul.
Instant replays this season for all Hillsdale home games will be brought to you by our good friends over at Fickes Furniture. The furniture in my living room, delivered by hand by Fickes, and I do love my couches.
That's awesome.
It's almost hard to come to work sometimes just hanging out on them.
Got to bring him to the office. Here's a bunt that will successfully get down, so a sacrifice for Northwestern advances the runner to second. So Worst, pretty good speed over there on second base. We'll have a chance to get around on a base hit.
Yeah, decent way to try to manufacture something here. Advance the runner. And now you've got up one of your middle hitters in Smith, stepping up to the dish, and a chance with a girl in scoring position.
High and outside on the first pitch. Kelsey Smith, 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts yesterday. But she is an All-League second-team member from last season, so looking for a turnaround game. Kennedy Fickes, the pitch. That one dribbles low. Despite the rough day yesterday, one of the top players here for Northwestern that can drive in runs. 5 driven in so far this year in 5 games. That just sneaks inside underneath for a strike. It's a 2-1 count.
Yeah, this one was mighty close. But it's in there for a strike and helps out Fickes now from the circle.
That one sails high on the riser. Make it a 3-1. This is a hitter's pitch here. See if Smith can square away one. That one low. She'll take the base. So runners on first and second. As now we see the hot hitter, our player spotlight, approach the plate. Coralyn Hall, batting .750 here in the first 5 games.
And great hitters, they always get super excited, of course, anytime you see those ducks swimming around out there on the pond. So this is a big-time situation, only down by 1. Try to create some fireworks here on the road and give yourself a chance for an upset of the Falcons.
That one just missed. So Fickes in a pickle now. 1 gone, 2 on. She's got a run of wiggle room. As this one flies, might drop, it will. Into left field, Martin throws for home. Runner will score though, as Worst slides in safely. We're tied.
Just a nice piece of hitting. Flares it right where it needed to be. Get the Huskies on the board here. Take one more look as the lefty squares that one up nicely and just right where it needed to be, soaring over the top there of the shortstop and hitting kind of that sweet spot out there in left center to even things up.
The ball misses low for ball 1 as we see Nevaeh Kirk enter the plate. So they go 1-2-3 in the first, but they have responded well. 3 of their first 4 here in this frame have reached. That one sneaks in, 1-1.
And a big confidence boost, and not just get runners in scoring position here, but when you can deliver now, it takes a little bit of the pressure off of you. Just feel like anytime the goose egg comes off of the board for some of these teams that it's a bit of a different feel when you step into the batter's box moving forward.
That ball will pop up, stay in play. The catcher just able to snag it. She'll laugh that one off. Huber makes the catch.
Yeah, tough read. I mean, it felt like as soon as that came off the bat, too, there was a nice big gust of wind, so it just made it for a tougher decision. But she makes the proper read for out 2.
This is Haley McLaughlin. That one right down the middle for strike 1.
Bottom of the order now for the Huskies as they're looking to get to a return to the beginning of their lineup.
2 on, 2 down. Ground ball to the shortstop, and they will end things there with a throw to first. 1 run on the board, however. This will tie things up between the Falcons and the Huskies in WCAL play. To the bottom of the second we go. To the bottom of the second we go. Top of the second, Northwestern tied things back up at 1 with the Hillsdale Falcons with a run, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. Falcons had a similar sort of bottom first. They had a run on just 1 hit with no errors, and they left 1 on base as well, looking to do a little bit better here and take the lead back. Our player spotlight for the Falcons is set to go. This is Jordan Fickes. Batting .400 on the season, 4 for 10. Fouls off the first pitch. Jordan was a perfect 3 for 3 in that game against Northwestern yesterday. Had all doubles with 2 RBIs.
Yeah, pretty good day. Swinging a nice hot bat every time. It's an extra base when you're stepping into that batter's box.
She is the team's lone homer as well. That just misses outside. 1-1. Wind is favoring the Falcons if they do want to make this a home run derby. Troyan in the circle, sends a pitch. That one swung on and missed. Was going to be high.
I saw, kind of unrelated to this league, but Makari Chapman of Lexington last night, 3 dingers and 3 at-bats. Pretty good start to her season. I think she's got 6 already.
Yeah, really impressive, especially considering she just ended basketball season on Friday, and she swings around and does that. That was kind of the case. We had our sort of all-star season weekend. We had the Mansfield News Journal All-Star Game on Friday, both for the girls and the boys, and then a plethora of games as well for the Spy Report on Monday. A lot of them told me that, yeah, this is the last thing that we're doing until before baseball/softball season gets underway. In fact, one of them told me that they were playing in this game, and the next day they were supposed to start on the mound.
How about it, man? That's some versatility right there, and that's why they're all-stars. They're able to juggle a few different areas of expertise, and that's what makes this time of year very interesting when you're getting into the start of spring sports, just specifically in the state of Ohio, because it can be some tough weeks where you've got 5 games planned, might even just get 2 out there on the playing surface, maybe practicing inside a little bit, but so far it seems like the weather has been cooperating decently.
That ball popped foul, nearly came right to me.
Yeah, that was about as
I was
close
getting
as
ready
it
for
could
it. Got a full count here, 3-2 on Jordan Fickes. Troyan just trying to escape this at-bat alive with someone who has really had it going against Northwestern. Here's a 3-2. There's another one pop foul. Catcher may have been able to play that. She may have thought that was going out.
Yeah, that was a slight misread here because it does land straight down, never hit the net.
And that's that wind we were talking about. It is blowing out towards center field.
But those are incredibly tough plays, especially when you've got the mask on to try to come up out of your stance and make a decision in about a second and a half.
Maybe truck the umpire on your way to a catch.
Makes for a good highlight, though.
That one dribbles on the turf, and that will send Fickes to first. Nice at-bat. With 0 gone, you've got a runner on.
Yeah, well done that time by Fickes, just to remain patient in there, fell behind in the count, and then kept getting licks on the ball. And eventually ball 4 comes, and no outs, and a runner out on the base pass here for the Falcons.
Willow Funk will lay down a bunt. That gets fouled back towards us. So everybody goes back to where they were. If you're just joining us here on the OH Report, 1-1 score. Falcons scored at the bottom of the first on an RBI single from the pitcher, Kennedy Fickes. She drove in McCrory, the leadoff. That ball misses low, make it 1-1. Then on the other side of things for Northwestern, they struck just a few moments ago in the top of the second on an RBI single from Coralyn Hall, who continued her hot bat. She was batting .750 coming into this. I'd love to see what her number is now, as that ball gets in there for a 1-2 count here up against Willow Funk. Swung on, belted to center. Can the wind take this one? Answer is no. That'll be a fly out to center. Hall makes the catch for Northwestern. So one gone, runner on first. Up to the plate. Star pitcher, but today just a hitter, Kira Filius.
And a job well done in that last at bat to get the first out here after a leadoff walk. Started things off here in the second, and a big cut, but it's driven back for strike one.
Yeah, Kira was late on that swing. A little extra juice from the pitcher, Troyan. Kira's 2-0 on the year in the circle with a 2.33 ERA in 15 innings, so she has excelled there. As that hits the plate, that'll bounce straight up, and a free base, maybe even a second. Nope, squaring away and retreating back to second goes Fickes. But that bounced right on the front of the plate, went straight up in the air. Resulted in a free steal. That went inside, makes it 2-1. Troyan waiting for the call from the manager in the dugout. Now she gets it and winds up. Filius late again. I'll be fouled to right.
Clean connection, though, on that last cut, along with the very first swing here of this at-bat. Just working on that timing, trying to square one up.
Filius went 1 for 3 yesterday. She's got a 2-2 count here against the pitcher, Troyan. Dribbles that foul, hits off the right leg. She's got a runner sitting on second in Jordan Fickes, who can fly. Anything in the outfield, that's going to score. That goes right to the pitcher, however, and that will be a quick out number 2. Runner advances to third.
So the Huskies in a great spot right here. Couple down, even though they've got Fickes just a base away of taking the lead. 2 down against a very potent Falcons offense that lit them up pretty good yesterday.
First pitch misses outside, as this is Allie Morgan. Slow start for her this year, but looking to bounce back. It went 1 for 3 yesterday, had an RBI. There's another RBI situation for her as that misses. That'll make it 2-0 on the count. Hitting 167 right now. The lefty faces up with Troyan and gets the call from the catcher. The 2-0. Nearly hit her.
So a chance here from Morgan near the bottom of the lineup to get very choosy with her pitch selection.
This will be a good one. Actually, no, to be outside, ball 4. So free base for her, leaves runner on the corners. And we're back to the top of the lineup with McCrory, who got reached on a walk in the first. Second walk of the day for the pitcher in the circle, in Elisa Troyan. Runner will go to second. They caught the runner at third on a cutoff by the pitcher.
Wow, how about that?
Well done by Northwestern to get the third out at the plate. And that'll end the bottom half of the second. We stay tied at 1.
Furniture, celebrating 100 years in the furniture business, displaying all the latest styles by manufacturers such as Bassett, Flex Steel, Mohawk Flooring, Dutch Craft Bedding and more. With free delivery setup and removal, make your next movie night comfortable with Fickes Furniture. Quality furniture at an affordable price. Visit our Jeromesville location or visit us online at fickesfurniture.com.
And we return to the Hillsdale High School campus for the top of the third. We still have a tie game, 1-1, between Northwestern and Hillsdale. Husky is putting on a test here for the Falcons, who went unblemished in conference play last year. Hanging tight for now. Can they keep that up? Good run of bats here would help. Back to the leadoff man. This is Cherry. She swings at the first pitch, fouls that back. Cherry was 0 for 2 with a walk in game 1 yesterday. Flew out to left to start today's game at the first pitch in the first. Wind up from Fickes. That one swung on as well and hit a ton to right. But squaring away with it is Funk out in right center. She'll make the catch for out number 1.
Yeah, first contact, that looked like it certainly was going to have a chance. And once it got towards the outfield, you'll see here, just kind of dies down a little bit. Easy play for the right fielder and one down pretty quickly on. A couple pitches here for the Falcons.
Here's the pitcher, Troyan. Swings early at that, trickles it just ahead of the pitcher. Throw a little off, but still caught over at first by Phileas. And that'll be 2 outs in 3 pitches.
Excellent start here defensively for Hillsdale. Maybe a little bit frustrated that the bats aren't waking up quite like how they would want them to so far in a couple of at-bats. So trying to get themselves in a position where they can get right back up to the plate.
Here is Gabby Kuber. Swung on the first pitch, just gets past McFadden. That'll go to the gap. Turning towards second, retreating back to first is Kuber. There's another base hit here for the Huskies. It's our third hit of the game.
Yeah, nice piece of work right there, and just under the glove that time. Able to escape through, get on first base, and give the Huskies an opportunity here to try to create some noise, a little 2-out rally.
Another swing on the first pitch. That one by Worst, who will fly out to the pitcher. And a quick, not a 1-2-3 inning. Got a hit on 2 outs, so 4 batters faced, 3 gone. That'll take us to the bottom of the third in a 1-1 game. We remain tied between Hillsdale and Northwestern. Back for the bottom of the third. Falcons will foul off the first pitch as leadoff here in the third is leadoff for the game. McCrory approached the plate in the bottom of the second, but a out at home as the Falcons tried to steal on it. Brings her back to the plate. Slap shot will be foul as well, so an 0-2 start here for Troyan in the circle. Lily's just the walk at the top of the first. She is the one run scored here for Hillsdale, but she does swing and miss here, and she'll go back to the dugout with a K. First K of the day for Northwestern's Troyan.
I don't think the Falcons have got one either, have they?
No, they haven't.
So pretty unusual to be kind of this late here, bottom of the third in softball, and not have a strikeout yet.
Yeah, we did talk about it. Both of these teams do have hot bats. They don't miss much. So we see Kiki McFadden go for her second go. 0 for 1, popped up to the second baseman in the first inning. Pitch to Kiki, swung on, lined over the second baseman this time. That will fall for a base hit.
Just a masterful piece of hitting right there. Get over to first base. Take another look at it here on our Fickes Furniture replay. Just squared it up in perfect elevation right over the outstretched arm of the shortstop. And Lady Falcons in business here with a runner on board.
So this will be Taylor Schmitz now. She lined out to center, had a pretty good looking swing. And there's another one there. Just goes right to the second baseman, but it does eat up the Huskies. They just are able to get back over to first and get the out there by half a step. Thrown out with Schmitz.
Yeah, boy, that was awful close, that play at first base. But just a heat-seeking missile right at the shortstop. And the Falcons able to advance the runner. Though, well done here by Northwestern to get an out.
Saw the Fickes Furniture replay. Here is a Fickes at the plate. Kennedy had the RBI in the first inning as she fouls off the first pitch. She had a single to left field where they were able to score McCrory. That's been pretty much the only damage so far here for Hillsdale. Slow pitch just goes down the middle, and that caught Kennedy looking.
Got me looking. Took a while for it to get there, and then it just curved, boom, right over the middle of the plate.
That'll be the slowest pitch you see today. Yeah, I went to speed her up that time on the next pitch and missed high. 1-2. Pitcher Troyan's done a good job easing into things after giving up that bottom of the first run. However, that goes wild, and that'll be a free base. Falcons, however, have stranded 2 runners on third, and if they can't get anything here, that'd be 3 straight innings of doing so. 2-2. 2 gone. That one in there. Caught Fickes looking, and that'll end the third. 1-1. Pitcher's duel so far. Pitching to contact, doing well so far. We'll take a break and come back with the top of the fourth.
Fickes Furniture, celebrating 100 years in the furniture business, displaying all the latest styles by manufacturers such as Bassett, Flex Steel, Mohawk Flooring, Dutch Craft Bedding, and more. With free delivery setup and removal, make your next movie night comfortable with Fickes Furniture. Quality furniture at an affordable price. Visit our Jeromesville location or visit us online at fickesfurniture.com.
Nussbaum, Smith, and Hall due up here for Northwestern in the top of the fourth. Jonathon Langdon alongside Brian Skowronski nearing the halfway point of this one. Pending extra innings because this has been a low-scoring affair thus far. Just 1-1. Falcons struck in the bottom of the first. Top of the second for Northwestern quickly after. And Fickes remains in the circle and sends this pitch to Nussbaum, who will now pop out to second as McFadden runs over and makes the catch.
Was able to get out of the last inning, and I believe just 5 pitches, so off to another quick start here in the 4th.
She should be able to go a full 6 if this keeps up. Her fellow pitching counterpart in Kira Filius, who's playing first today, did so yesterday. 6 innings of work. Just gave up 3 runs. None of them, in fact, were earned. So we've got a 1-0 count here to start, as this is Kelsey Smith. Dribbles that to third. Play will be made for out number 2 by Smits.
Falcons just traditionally, they're so solid at the corners. I mean, they put some of their best playmakers at first and third, and see it again right here. Boom. Decently hit ball. Great positioning. Nice arm strength. And then the snag over at first base for out 2.
Second put out for Schmitz so far today. That pitch will miss low for the third batter faced for Fickes in this half inning. This is Quarrel and Hall, drove in the run in the second inning. She'll look at that one. It'll be a 1-1 or a 2-0 count. Pitching away from her right now. We'll see where they go here. Goes right at her, and she will not pay for it. What a play out in center.
Wow.
Diving in left. Fickes comes away with the catch and ends the inning.
Let's spin it back, baby. We got to show that one more time. Well struck right into the gap, or is it the flying Fickes for the out?
Bottom half of the 4th we go. It's still 1-1 after that great play from Fickes. It'll take us to a break.
We welcome you back to Jeromesville for the bottom half, inning number 4, and the Lady Falcons to the dish. Change up action here from Troy in the first pitch, and it's a little off target for ball number 1. I am Brian Skowronski here with you. Jonathon Langdon jogged over to check out the baseball stadium, which is located right next door here on the fabulous campus of Hillsdale. See how the Falcons are doing over on their portion of the diamond. So, it's update time now with Mr. Langdon. What did you see?
Huskies lead 3-1 over there, over the Falcons in the baseball portion of today's festivities. How exciting is it after a morning we had in the weather to have both of these teams out and playing? There's a grounder that will just get to the shortstop. Throw to first will be there in time, but the bobble is made at first, so reaching on an infield single, or that will likely go down as an error. Huber gets off to a solid start here for Hillsdale.
Yeah, one more look. Shot over to short, and decently thrown ball there, just not scooped up by the first baseman, and that will be an error as the Falcons get their leadoff runner aboard again.
Call it an E6. Ball high to the next batter. This is Fickes. She reached on a walk in the second, and she was the one thrown out at home. as they tried to do a little fake with the runner at first, running to second. Pitcher cut off the throw down and gunned Fickes between third and home. Foul ball. That heads over to some spectators watching the Hillsdale Falcon baseball team.
Yeah, decent-sized crowds out here and always so well supported with their spring sports. But when you've had the type of consistency that they've enjoyed here in Jeromesville over these last couple of decades, I mean, they're pretty easy programs to get behind.
Another high pitch. That'll make it 2-1. Also some great places to take in the games because not only can you sit here in the backstop, as many people are. I'm looking out in front of me. Look at all that prime real estate over by the football field. Perfect places to set up a chair and take in the game as we've got a foul into the crowd again. No one able to make the play in the bleachers.
Yeah, shout out Simonson Construction, my guy Dan Moore and everybody over there for constructing these cool designs where it all kind of placates together, where the football field also plays over to the diamond over here for softball. You got decent views. I mean, you can see everything from up on that castle wall over there, and obviously the views back here behind home plate, pretty nice too.
That'll just miss outside, make it a full count, 3-2 here for Jordan Fickes. Where's your favorite place to take in a game? If you're going to maybe, say, a Guardians game, where are you going in the field?
Oh, specifically at
yes.
the Prague? I mean, you know about me and my ADD. I don't sit very well, so I do kind of like that area that they have, that they've actually – it used to be over in right field, or maybe it is still over in right field, where you just kind of – you don't got a ticket. You just kind of pal around with your friends.
And they're cheaper, too.
Here, there, everywhere. And, yeah, during a regular season game, sometimes as cheap as $10, $15.
Full count. Fickes will take another walk. That's her second of the game.
But if we're talking high school venues here around the area, this is right up there. This is a great facility. I also like what they've done at Northmore. I feel like that's a pretty cool park to take in some action. But nothing to me really beats that Clear Fork Valley, buddy. I mean, that's just the views, I think, out there in the springtime. Wow, how about that one just detonates right in front of the plate.
Good play, however, by the catcher to throw them out at first. I'll go down as a 2-4 ground out sacrifice for Willow Funk.
I mean, just look at the placement on this, Jonathan. Boom, and it just sets there. Like a Phil Mickelson little flop shot. Took a little spin and then just boop, comes to a complete stop.
So 1 out, 2 runners on, both in scoring position. And here's Kira Filius. Pitch from Troyan. Swung on, hit on the first pitch. That will pop up and be caught by the shortstop. Huber makes it 2 gone.
Yeah, nice charge right there. Another quality defensive effort here for the Huskies. Doing better than just hanging tough here on the road. Got things tied up. And I think could kind of demoralize Hillsdale a little bit here if they come up empty-handed.
Comes down to the bottom of the lineup. There's a swing and a miss. And on her practice swing, I think the throw from the catcher hit her bat on the way back to the pitcher. Allie Morgan.
I just like the expression of Allie, and she was just like, sorry.
Very similar thing happened in Major League Baseball earlier today. I'll talk about that after the pitch. Did she go? Out. It says the umpire over by shortstop, so 0-2 count. I was watching some highlights before I headed here. St. Louis Cardinals had somebody kind of just like backing away after a pitch. Catcher decked him square in the back of the helmet with the throw back.
Ouch.
That pitch misses high, 1-2.
Probably make it on the not top 10 here on Friday.
Allie Morgan looking to score some runs. She'll swing and foul this one off. Falcons have left a couple runners on base. More than a couple, in fact. At least one each inning.
Yeah.
This would be another tough situation if they can't convert.
And on the flip side, growing confidence here for the Huskies. staying even. Chance to get out of the inning unscathed again.
Even count after that misses low and away. You got Huber on third, Fickes on second, and at the plate, Morgan trying to drive him in. Troyan winds up. Misses just outside, and a sigh of relief from Morgan in the box.
Yeah, it's been a tough way for the inning to end for her. Caught looking. Runners on second and third. Now the full count. Big pitch all the way around.
That'll dribble. Ball four, Ducks are on the pond. And we're back to the top of the lineup. McCrory, 0 for 1, reached on a walk in the first, struck out swinging in the third.
See what kind of mental fortitude we've got here from the pitcher's circle right now for the Huskies. Troyan's done well. Hasn't been in this type of situation though yet.
Runs up on the first pitch and takes it for a strike. We have not seen a run cross the board since the top of the second. We sit in the bottom of the fourth. Swings at that, pops it just over the third baseman, but she's able to backtrack and make the catch. Two are stranded for the Falcons in the bottom half of the fourth. We stay tied at 1 as we head to the fifth. .67 and surprisingly sunny as we approach the top of the fifth between Hillsdale and Northwestern in a WCAL bout, Game 2 of this series. Game 1 yesterday was a 13-3 Hillsdale win. Runs have not been as easy to come by for the Falcons today as we still sit in a 1-1 contest. Last run scored was in the top of the second by the Huskies.
Yeah, we've got an offensive drought going right now. Triple zeros in a row here for the Falcons. Back-to-back scoreless innings and quick ones at that for Northwestern. But for Hillsdale, sometimes a little bit of doubt starts creeping in. They've had runners in scoring position here the last couple of frames and just have not been able to produce in the big moments.
They've stranded 6. 5 of those 6 have been in scoring position. So that's kind of the story of this game as we move into the latter half of it in the top of the fifth right here, as at the plate is Nevaeh Kirk, who takes that for a strike. 1-1.
I do want to add one more venue to my wish list of favorites in the area. Galleon in Heisey Park. Really good place to take in a game as a spectator and certainly as a media member. They've got a nice press box, even though people like you have to duck a little bit, and this one might duck its way into center, but caught for out number 1.
Gold Glover Fickes had a diving catch in the last inning to end it, and hopefully what they would have hoped would have been some momentum for the Bats was not the case in the last inning. Makes the catch there, out number 1. And up now, bottom of the lineup, this is Haley McLaughlin. Kennedy Fickes has looked solid today. Just floats that in there for a strike. She saw a pitch just like that from her counterpart Troyan on the Husky side. Decided I could try that, and it worked out in her favor. That one just misses low. Kennedy, you could tell she wanted that one.
Batters at the bottom of the lineup like McLaughlin. I mean, these are the type of girls that they can get the energy going. If you can get on base, get back to the top of the mix, sometimes that can really spark some action and some big-time innings, and that is just blasted, but basically right at Fickes.
Hitting to contact right now are the Hillsdale are both teams, to be honest, but the Huskies right there, right to the center fielder. We've got 2 gone in the top of the 5th.
You saw McLaughlin kind of dip her head as soon as she came out of the batter's box, as well as she knows. I mean, anything within about 10 feet of Fickes, say goodnight. It's like Travis Berardi with one of those $5 boxes from Taco Bell. It's going to get eaten up.
Fun fact, Fickes has made the last 3 outs. She had that diving catch to take them to the bottom of the 4th, and she's made the last 2 plays. Check swing is fouled. That just went over the head of the catcher in the dugout. That nearly got ducked in the side of the head, but she ducked at just the right time. Yeah, McLaughlin, who just flew out to center, putting on the catcher's gear. One count, 2 gone. Waits on the pitch, pops it up. Fickes, she going to make another play? Yes, she is. She has made the last 4 outs for the Falcons, all 3 in this frame, and will go down to the bottom of the 5th as Hillsdale looks to put some runs on the board and close out another WCAL win. We'll take a break and come back live and free on the OH Report.
Fickes Furniture, celebrating 100 years in the furniture business, displaying all the latest styles by manufacturers such as Bassett, Flex Steel, Mohawk Flooring, Dutch Craft Bedding, and more. With free delivery setup and removal, make your next movie night comfortable with Fickes Furniture. Quality furniture at an affordable price. Visit our Jeromesville location or visit us online at fickesfurniture.com.
Heart of the lineup due for the bottom of the 5th with the Falcons at the plate. Kiki McFadden takes high. McFadden in the 2 spot, and then you've got Taylor Schmitz due on deck, and in the hole, the pitcher Kennedy Fickes. 2-3-4. Staying in the circle likely for the rest of this game, and it's the one who started it. Troyan sends that in for a strike, 1-1. Now Troyan doesn't get a whole lot of strikeouts. She does get 16 so far this year. Hasn't got many today. McFadden sends that to center. That one's dropped by the center fielder, and it's slipped by the left fielder. We'll get a delayed throw in. It's an easy double for Kiki McFadden.
Lady Falcons have done well basically all afternoon of getting that lead-off runner out there. Have even done an excellent job of advancing, just not all the way home. As that one's misplayed, there'll be an error, of course, and losing the footing, the left fielder out there for the Huskies as well. So another nice start here to the frame from the batter's box for Hillsdale. See if they're able to capitalize and get their first run since way back in the bottom of the 1st.
Yeah, so the center fielder ended up dropping it as that sneaks in for a strike. Left fielder was going to recover, and then she slipped on the warning track. Didn't cost them any extra base because McFadden was likely going to get to second anyways. But she is in scoring position in an 0-1 count to Taylor Schmitz. Swing and a line drive right to the right fielder. Late tag over at second will keep Kiki standing there. Out number 1 here in the bottom half of the 5th. Play out and right by Kirk.
Yeah, perfect read. Slugged right at her. And just a simple out. First out here in the bottom of the 5th.
Swinging right away, Kennedy Fickes sends that over to the baseball crowd. One gone, runner on second. What can the Falcons muster up here? Troyan gives the 0-1. That's high. Evens it up at 1. Another swing, that one will go foul. So the sun's sitting right now in left field. That shouldn't be an issue for anyone really except the catcher out on this field. Same cannot be said for baseball, just to our right. Pretty much all of them feeling the effects of that right now.
And for Fickes, the cleanup hitter, would love to deliver in a big moment right now. Starting to get pretty late in the game. Offense at a premium. See if she can step up and be a hero.
Troyan, the 1-2. Swung on, fouled over towards the sun. Fickes will now go back into the plate, stays 1-2. Fickes is 1 for 2, struck out looking in her last AB in the 3rd. But she did drive in, the only run for Hillsdale in the 1st. Looks at that low. Just observing the umpire here today. Lean towards more, calling more high strikes than low. Here's a swing and a drive to deep center field.
Gone.
And that'll go. Kennedy Fickes helps herself out yet again. She has driven all 3 runs for the Hillsdale Falcons. It's 3-1.
And you knew just right off of the bat that that was going to be out of here. Just so much pace and velocity there. Straight to dead center. And she took just enough off of it not to be able to hit that brand new beautiful scoreboard. Let's see, I think I missed it on the replay. Yeah, I just got the celebration here, but that's what it's all about anyways. The girls jumping around, meeting you at home plate.
Finally able to break through after stranding 6 straight runners. But here they are now up 2 after a great stretch of play by Kennedy Fickes here in this contest, not only at the plate, but also on the mound, or in the circle, keeping Northwestern just a 1 run thus far. See if Huber can follow things up. Still 1 out. Still a good opportunity to put yourself in a good situation here in the bottom half of the 5th. Troy in the pitch. Dribbles right before the plate.
It's got to take a little bit of the wind out of the sails here now for Troyan and the Huskies. Boy, they have battled 3 straight scoreless innings. But you kind of got that feeling it was only a matter of time with Hillsdale advancing so many runners into scoring position, not being able to deliver until the blast off from Fickes.
Have our first meeting in the circle here today, as Troyan threw 4 straight balls after giving up that home run, and looked like she was about to hand the ball to the manager, Scott Hershey, but told him to keep it. They're going to keep her out there. Just a little talk, try to get her back into things. One gone, runner on first. 3-1 Falcons off of a 2-run shot in this frame by Kennedy Fickes. Had a single in the first to drive in a run, and then that 2-run bomb we just saw moments ago that drove in herself and Kiki McFadden.
And after this pitch, I'll show that home run again.
Jordan Fickes at the plate. Misses low and inside.
So here it is, just squared up, and like I said, just the velocity of that ball right off of the bat. Beautiful swing. You just knew.
Swing on the second pitch, just gets past the shortstop. Station to station, the runners will go. Nice half-inning cooking here for the Falcons, starting to catch fire at the plate.
Just a nice deep lineup. And when you've got a couple Fickeses sandwiching around a Huber, you know that you're in good hands out there. Right now, Hillsdale really filling it at the plate. Looking to turn things up and try to extend this 2-run differential.
Willow Funk to the plate. Takes strike one. 0 for 2 on a sacrifice. That would be 0 for 1, in fact. Took a sacrifice bunt to advance her teammate Fickes. Swings there and misses at strike 2. That was in the fourth when that happened. We've now seen 6 batters here in the bottom of the 5th. 0-2. Outside. Both runners getting solid leads. They've tested this catcher a few times. Gotten a couple of steals. They've been caught once, but it was more on a trick play where the catcher threw to second, pitcher cut it off and threw a runner out at home, as there's one that is taken outside. It is a strike, and we've got 2 gone.
Yeah, nice pitch from Troyan. Another strikeout on her resume. Her 3rd so far here of the afternoon.
First pitch swinging. That just gets past the second baseman, Nussbaum, turning towards home. The Falcons will score 1. They're going to score a second as well. It's a double. Phileas puts 2 more on the board.
Yeah, that's huge right there. So for the Huskies, you're staying within contention. You're just potentially 1 swing away. Just need 1 runner in scoring position, and now the 4-score differential. Hillsdale really starting to open things up in this bottom half of the 5th.
4 runs here in the bottom of the 5th as Fickes went all the way around from first, showing off the speed. We move to the 9-hole hitter, Allie Morgan. She's got a runner on second here with 2 gone in a 5-1 contest, as this is a pop foul behind us. Troyan sends the 1-1. That one hit high in the air, stays in the infield. It'll be an easy catch for Kuber. That'll end the bottom of the 5th, but the damage has been done. 4 for the Falcons on a 2-run shot from Kennedy Fickes, and then also an RBI double, a 2 RBI double from Phileas. It's 5-1. We'll go to the top of the 6th next. Huskies just gave up 4 in the bottom of the 5th to the Falcons. It's their turn to try and do some damage. They've got their 2, 3, 4 hitters up, same as the Falcons earlier on, just a couple of moments ago. So it is 5-1. That score from the Huskies came all the way back in the top of the 2nd. Since then, pitcher for Hillsdale, Kennedy Fickes, has really dialed herself in.
Yeah, Kennedy's done a great job of also helping herself in the cause from the dish, deliver the big shot, the huge blow, 2-run bomb there in the last inning to kind of open things up, and the floodgates then from there they add a couple more, and the Falcons nice comfortable lead here and just 6 outs away from trying to close out a sweep of the Huskies.
And Troy, and the other pitcher for Northwestern, trying to help herself out here at the plate. 2-0 count. That one in there. So it was a good job by the starter for Hillsdale with Fickes on the mound in the first 5 innings. It is now Kira Filius in the circle, trying to close things off as that goes high and away. 3-1 the count. Filius went the full 6 innings against the Huskies yesterday with 8 strikeouts while conceding 3 unearned runs. She misses outside here, and on her first batter face, that'll be a walk.
Exactly what Northwestern needs to try to inch their way back into this ball game. First runner aboard, one of your best hitters coming up now at the dish.
Top hitter takes on the top pitcher. And Kuber takes strike 1 outside. Troyan at first. The shortstop at the plate is 1 for 2. She'll make it 2 for 3. Lines that one into right, just in front of the outfielder Funk. That'll advance the runner to third, and then going to second on the throw is Kuber. So 2 in scoring position. And the lead runner was wincing in pain after she slid into third. Looks to be all right. Troyan gets up and talks to her coach.
Excellent piece of hitting right here. Inside outs it. You see, got that nice swerve on it out there into right field. And then with the throw heading all the way to third. Probably wanted to hit the cutoff or throw that to second there instead. Allows both runners to advance, and 2 runners now in scoring position. With a new batter up at the dish here, it's worst.
Yeah, Philia showed off the speed on the first pitch. See if she does it again. Puts a little off of that. Grounder to third, looking the runner away, and no throw will be made. That'll turn it into a bases loaded situation with nobody out.
This is a tough call, of course, on the softball diamond. Trying to hold the runner there at third. She's able to do that. Maybe if she would have taken a peek up at second base. I mean, it's really challenging sometimes to make that determination because you've got to make it in about 1 second. And for the Falcons, didn't work out so well. Bases chucked.
First pitch is a strike for Filius up against the next batter. This is Araya Nussbaum, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts and a walk in the game yesterday where she faced this very pitcher. That one misses high and away. So now we get into the aspect where you bring in Filius, who already pitched yesterday, so Huskies are familiar with her a little bit. And now with no outs, you can really just start to swing away and see what happens. Swing and a miss there. Throw back to third is just a little late. Nearly got her as she retreated back over at third. Troyan. Here's the 1-2. Swung, foul tipped into the glove. That'll be the first out. No runners move either.
Pretty critical out right there here for Hillsdale. I mean, you make the switch from a girl that had put 3 straight goose eggs up on the board, and Fickes just had the 2-run blast as well, so she's got all this momentum. So I think to get that first out, we'll see if that starts to help Filius settle in.
Swing and a miss. Ball gets slightly away from the catcher. No real effort for the Huskies to get home. So we now see Kelsey Smith, the junior, batting .267 coming into the game today. She is 0 for 1. She walked in the second. Swing and a miss. Phileas dealing right now in a tight situation.
Yeah, this is a nice pitch. Chased away from the hitter. Smith unable to get bat on ball. And now she's in an 0-2 hole.
That one just inside. Able to get away, Nussbaum. She'll walk away and think about this next one. 1-2 situation. Obviously, you don't want to take a shot to the back leg. Here's the pitch. Swung and fouled off. Obviously, you don't want to take a shot to the back leg, but do you sacrifice that for a run here?
Well, I think the coach will tell you yes every single time. It's a lot easier said than when it's your calf that's on the line out there. But in softball, I think it's almost always that you go ahead and just take it.
That one is in there for strike 3.
Gorgeous stuff right there for Phileas. After allowing the first 3 runners to get aboard, they catch the break, they get the out with the last, and then boom, just smokes that one right over the heart of the plate. A little bit of movement as well for the second out.
Back-to-back Ks for Phileas with the bases loaded to add on to it, and she gets a swing and a miss here.
Yeah, she's really heating up, starting to find her locations, and you notice the movement of the ball here over the last couple of batters.
That one swung and fouled right over to Hillsdale's dugout. Hopefully everybody's okay there. You got an 0-2 count, but you do have the player you want at the plate right now. This is Coraline Hall. She's 1 for 2, a single, drove in the game's only run for Northwestern in the second.
Really pivotal moment right here for her, of course. Chance for Phileas to try to get out of this jam and, really kind of step on their throats. And
that one dribbles to the backstop. Running home is the Huskies, and they will get one across. Troyan gets in there standing. Everyone moves up a base as well.
Yeah, really big for Northwestern here, catching a break. Just a wild pitch there, scoring off of the air as Troyan comes home, and now it's just a 3-run game.
The 1-2 outside. And Phileas had all of the momentum going her way, getting back-to-back strikeouts with bases loaded. And then she throws that wild pitch and maybe took a little bit of that pressure and added some more to her end. Swing and a miss here. Limits the damage to just 1 on the wild pitch. Score is 5-2 at the end of the top of the 6th. We'll take a break and come back. Falcons are going back to the bats when we return.
Fickes Furniture, celebrating 100 years in the furniture business, displaying all the latest styles by manufacturers such as Bassett, Flex Steel, Mohawk Flooring, Dutch Craft Bedding, and more. With free delivery setup and removal, make your next movie night comfortable with Fickes Furniture. Quality furniture at an affordable price. Visit our Jeromesville location or visit us online at fickesfurniture.com.
Huskies back to the field for the bottom of the 6th. Score is 5-2. They've hung in there, but the Falcons did put 4 runs up on the board lately in the bottom of the 5th. See what their response is here after giving up 1 in the top end of the 6th. That ball misses high and in to start the at-bat as McCrory will lead off an inning for the 4th time today. The 3rd time. Swing slides out off of the glove of the pitcher, and she'll be in there easily in time. Leadoff hit.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think every inning but one, Hillsdale's had their leadoff hitter at least advance to first base. So put themselves in another advantageous situation here to try to put a little bit of room in between they and the Huskies heading into the last frame.
Swinging the first pitch by Kiki, and McFadden will fly out to the first baseman. Worst makes the catch. 1 out, 1 runner on first. And to the plate goes Schmitz. Looks at the first pitch, takes that down low for a ball. Schmitz had a perfect week when they took on a really good Walsh Jesuit team, one of the top teams in Division 1. She went 2 for 2 against them, drove in the Falcons' only run when they lost to them 14-1 last week. Ball too high. Swinging a grounder between the shortstop and the third baseman into left. Station to station.
Look here on the Fickes Furniture replay. Schmitz coming through. Landing herself on first and advancing the runner here. Just 1 down in the frame.
Confident Kennedy Fickes lines that one foul to right field. She's got 3 RBIs in this game, and she can do even more damage here. What a job Hillsdale's done getting her in situations like this today. She'll swing at another one. That one taken to left center. It'll be a second home run today for Kennedy Fickes. It's a 3-run shot to left center field. And it is now 8-2.
And it was right on cue. Concession stands very kindly, I think, delivered some candy for us. I think we got to give these to Kennedy, man. We got M&M's, Snickers bars, and Reese's. Deserved all of it. Just absolutely blistered that one. Fickes is on fire out here.
Have a day, Ken. They gave her home run ball. For the last at-bat, they're going to have to give her another one. She'll have to hang them both up. Don't know how many times she's gone deep twice in a game.
And this is a kid, you had mentioned that she was swinging a confident bat. She doesn't strike me as the type that ever needs pumped up. She's a self-motivated type of player and really a keen eye up there at the plate. Obviously, she's shown that she's got the precision, the power, and now back-to-back dingers out here. I mean, without those 2 swings, this is a much different looking game.
And Huber goes back to the plate with empty bases. Hasn't really had to do much, but she's still going to get herself a single up the middle, and that will trickle past the center fielder. She'll turn for second and get in there standing. Falcons have turned it on here in the last 2 innings.
And I think a lot of the credit's obviously got to go to Fickes and the infectiousness that just kind of takes over. It's, you know, it can almost be like, what's that, The Walking Dead? I don't know. When one gets infected, it just kind of starts to spread. So one of these girls.
Every zombie movie in existence.
I guess that's just how it flows. Not really my style or my cup of tea. Never watched myself, but.
Running to third here for a steal. Huber continues to run the base paths.
In there. I did see the 28 Days Later. I actually thought that was a pretty quality flick.
I've never heard of that one, actually.
Oh, it's worth it.
I know that The Last of Us Season 2 is coming up. That's what I'm looking forward to, if we're sticking on zombie-themed shows/movies.
What show is this that you just mentioned?
The Last of Us. It's on HBO. Season 1 came out my sophomore year of college, which was 3 years ago. So it's been a long time coming. 3-0 count here as Jordan Fickes hasn't had anything to swing at yet.
I am a sucker for HBO. I've almost watched every single one of their series, so I'll add that to
Pedro Pascal is the lead.
Come on.
Yeah, I think that's all I have to
say less, buddy.
To convince you.
Sold.
Low and away. 4-pitch walk. Runners on the corners with 3 runs already in here in the bottom half of the 6th for Hillsdale. They lead 8-2. I've been listening to all of the walk-up songs as Willow Funk approaches the plate, and we'll now see a timeout from the Huskies side. They've had rightfully, I guess, all of their walk-up songs have been fitting. Yeah, you've had, of course, we're about to get funky as Funk walks up to the plate. And then Kennedy, before both of her homers, we heard, "I'm just Ken."
Oh, drilled.
Straight to the center fielder yet again. A run will score for the Falcons. That's Huber crossing the plate. It is an RBI single for Willow Funk.
Show it to you one more time on our Fickes replay as all of a sudden that Simonson Construction Services scoreboard, that it was getting pretty lonely there for a while, I think, Jonathan. 3 straight scoreless innings for Hillsdale, and now it's 4 in a row for the Huskies, but all of a sudden it is lighting up.
Nice play out in center, however, to make a catch to her right, or to her left, out in right center. Hall able to go and snag it.
Yeah, let's spin that one back as well. Nice chase. Makes the play and keeps the runners standing still.
All 9 players for Hillsdale have now hit the plate here in the bottom half of the 6th after we see this at-bat from Allie Morgan. Correction, pinch hitter here. This is Jocelyn Fickes at the plate.
So we've got 3 Fickeye out there in the mix right now.
And that'll go right to the shortstop. That'll end the bottom half of the 6th. But yet again, Falcons strike with 4 runs. It's 9-2 as we head to the final inning of play. Top of the 7th up next. Top half of the 7th. This could do it if the Falcons can get 3 outs, as they have exploded to 8 runs in the last 2 innings. They lead this 9-2.
Eight of those runs coming over the last 2 at-bats for Hillsdale. After dropping one on the board in the first, went a little stagnant from the plate, at least in terms of putting runs on the scoreboard. And then all of a sudden, a couple of big boppers from Fickes, and the floodgates just opened here, extending their lead out to 7. And the Huskies now in a pretty deep, dark hole. See if they can try to find their way out.
In there for a strike, 1-1, as we see Phileas continue to deal at the plate. This is her 2nd inning of action, taking over for Kennedy Fickes in the 6th. And due up for the Huskies is 8-9-1. This is 8 here. Who takes another strike? Strike 2, Nevaeh Kirk. So they'll have a chance to get to the top of the order, but they could have 2 outs gone already by the time that happens. That one swung on, popped up. Retreating over the first. Fickes, who swapped over there, can't get to the play.
Yeah, it would have been a really tough catch there for Fickes to try to make that over the shoulder.
Swinging a ground ball to second. That one is fielded by McFadden. Throw to first. There is out number 1. 2 to go, and the Falcons will come away with their second WCAL win of the season, both against Northwestern. Bit of a swap up here out on the field. Allie Morgan will move to shortstop, and Jocelyn Fickes, who pinch hit and was the last out for the Falcons, is now over at third. That pitch falls in there for Phileas, strike 1. From the looks of it, it seems everybody else is in their usual spot except for, of course, the pitcher and first baseman swapping in the last inning. Nice quick work here of Hannah McLaughlin by Phileas. It's an 0-2 count. Swung, popped up. Similar situation for Kennedy Fickes. However, it was Kiki McFadden who nearly got there. Just fell foul in front of her. Count stays at 0-2. One gone, nobody on. Top of the 7th. Falcons in control, 9-2. Here's the pitch from Phileas. Inside, nearly got the legs of McLaughlin.
And one of the few balls that she's actually thrown over the last 5 batters after loading up the bases, no outs to start things off in the 6th. Boy, she's really settled in nicely and kind of taking control.
Swinging a line shot to right, goes right to the fielder. Funk will make the play. 1 out away from another win for the Falcons. It'd be their 3rd of the season. Phileas, in fact, Brian, had 3 straight strikeouts in that entire last inning. Then we had the grounder to second to start this one, and then that line shot to right. And everything lies in the hands of Cherry right now for Northwestern. She'll take one low and in for ball 1.
Phileas has certainly found her command, has been dominant. And Northwestern now down to their final out.
Cherry swings at that one, lines it to right. Nice play out and right. It just goes off of the top of the glove, however, of Funk. Play at the second base. Big collision. Safe at second is the call. So the leadoff player for Northwestern, Cherry, reaches on a tough double. Allie Morgan kind of walking things off right now.
Yeah, nearly a diving catch out there in right, but it leaves the door open here for Northwestern. So they've got a runner in scoring position, but a ton of work still to be done. However, right in the meat of their lineup now.
This is Elisa Troyan trying to keep herself at a perfect 2-0 on the year as a pitcher. It's going to take some doing, but she can get her team started here. Maybe drive in a run.
After a check-in on Allie Morgan, she's shaking it off. She's going to be all right. She'll stay out there at her shortstop position.
Troyan in this game, 0 for 2, but she did walk in the 6th and ended up scoring. Fresh count for Troyan. Up against Phileas, who sends it. Swing and a miss. Right down the middle it goes. 2 gone. Runner on second is Cherry. That one misses high. 1-1. The 1-1 inside. Falcons coming up. They will play here again against Crestview on Friday. And then away, they'll take on Monroeville on Saturday. Next week, they'll be at home to take on Chippewa. And then it'll be a 2-game series. They'll go to Chippewa on Wednesday. Another one misses low. That's 3-1 now. 3 straight balls for Phileas in the circle. We will be here at Crestview on Friday, but we will be covering the other side, making sure everybody gets equal representation. The boys baseball team taking on Crestview as well on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, we're gentlemen. Ladies first out here, of course, showcasing our Falcons. Had the Lady Colts of Clear Fork last night in a victory over Galleon. But baseball season is upon us as well, and we're going to start getting into that coming up this weekend.
Got a meeting here in the circle after a walk. Puts runners on first and second. It's going to take a lot to get 7 runs across the board, but the Huskies making some strides here.
And got to give you a lot of confidence anytime your pitcher just gives you a big old smile, and she's pretty much, I think I read her lips there, I got this. We are good. And like you said, pretty low pressure situation here with that 7-run deficit. Though losing some of her command here, 4 consecutive balls now for Phileas.
Lucky we're not at Texas A&M. Not sure if you've heard of their viral ball 7, ball 8 chant that they have for any pitcher that goes a little while before throwing a strike.
Well, we're starting to get in that territory now.
Yeah, ball 5 right now, 2-0. Gets that one in there. It is, however, fouled off by Kuber, likely the best player for the Huskies to have in a situation like this. Batted .371 a season ago, had 8 homers, 39 RBIs. It's been a slower start for her this year. Swing and a miss there. She's hitting .286 coming into the game. And today, she's turned it around, 2 for 3, single and a double. 2-2 count. This could be the ball game. Phileas winds up. Good contact. This will be fouled away. We'll do it again. Kuber hanging in there right now with 2 runners on, first and second, 2 gone. Phileas wants a new ball. They'll grant her her wish. Best pitcher against best hitter right here. 2-2. High and away. Full count. Squares away the full count pitch. That one will be popped up to the shortstop, who goes just outside of the infield, and will end this one here. Final score, Hillsdale 9, Northwestern 2. It is a sweep here in the season series. 2-0 start to WCAL play for the Hillsdale Falcons. We will step aside, take a break. Your post-game show is up next here live and free on the OH Report.
Fickes Furniture, celebrating 100 years in the furniture business, displaying all the latest styles by manufacturers such as Bassett, Flex Steel, Mohawk Flooring, Dutch Craft Bedding, and more. With free delivery setup and removal, make your next movie night comfortable with Fickes Furniture. Quality furniture at an affordable price. Visit our Jeromesville location or visit us online at fickesfurniture.com.
Time now for your 89 Homes MVP, and it's a big one today. Kennedy Fickes took 2 long balls out of the yard, so congratulations to
Thank you.
I know that you guys were struggling a little bit at the plate in the first couple of innings, and what was the mindset going into that at-bat? Were you able to get that home run, and what were you thinking getting to the plate?
Yeah, honestly, I was just trying to get a base hit. It was still tied at the time, and we had a runner in scoring position, so I was just looking to get a base hit and get her in, but worked out better. And then we just kept continuing off of that.
5 innings in the circle as well. Didn't get too many strikeouts, but you're pitching to contact. What was the approach going up against this Northwestern hitter?
Just to move it in and out, and then throw some off speed in there to just throw them off a little bit.
And then running around the bases for the second time. I know everybody was excited the first time, but the second time, that had to be a surreal feeling too, because you've never done that in a game before, going out twice.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts there?
Honestly, same thing for that at bat. I was just looking for a base hit, but for that one, I knew that one was definitely going out more so than my first one, and it made everyone more excited, and then we just kept continuing after that, and we had more motivation.
So you guys get the win here, go 2-0 in WCAL play. What's the mindset moving forward?
So we know we got some tougher games coming up, so we just want to continue coming out strong from the get-go. Today we did struggle a little bit. We came out slower, but sorry.
No worries.
Just coming out and attacking right away. We know that their teams are playing our good teams coming up, so just having that and just continuing our great defense, because we had really good defense today too.
All right, I'll throw you a nice little curveball.
Okay.
Go ahead and look in the camera.
Okay.
Give some shout-outs. Nice and easy.
I'm just asking to shout out my whole team, because they all did something to contribute to this win today, so I'm very proud of them all.
Kennedy Fickes, 2 homers today, 3 RBIs as well, 5 innings in the circle. Well-rounded day for you.
Thank you.
Time now for your post-game show, brought to you by Sutton Bank. We saw a good one here today from Hillsdale's facilities here at the high school. Great ballpark, great game as well. Falcons turned it on late. They scored 8 runs in the final 2 innings that they went to bat for, so in the 5th and the 6th. And they win this one 9-2, thanks to Kennedy Fickes, who just talked with us, your MVP, drove in 3 runs, hit 2 bombs.
That's got to be a really cool feeling, and especially the first time in your career to do it at home, and especially when things, even though they were getting like decent pieces of balls and they were getting girls out on the base pass, weren't scoring. So for her to kind of erupt in that fashion and then follow it up and have that second dinger. Really, really cool for her, and just kind of the floodgates open from there as the Falcons do what they've done so well over the last couple of decades. I mean, it's really a couple generations now of Hillsdale Lady Falcons players that have just kept the ball rolling here, and no surprise to see them off to another nice start here, 3-1 off to the season, and 2-0 right now in that WCAL.
Well, we joked about it early in the game that the wind was blown out to center, could turn into a home run derby. It turns out Fickes was the only one that got the memo. On the other side of things, towards the first half, it looked like the Huskies had the Falcons right where they wanted them. It's just the fact that they couldn't get runs across the board, just like the Falcons, who were struggling in the first 4 innings or so. Yeah,
so give a lot of credit to Northwestern after what happened yesterday with Troyan really dealing, and I think the defense backed her up quite well until you got into that 6th inning. So they were game today. Never felt like they were out of it until kind of that avalanche that happened when we got into the 6th inning there for Hillsdale. So tip your caps to them, and it looks like a team that's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Just maybe not a top contender right now in the league up there with Hillsdale, and it looks like maybe Norwayne might be that second team that you would kind of identify right now that might be able to chase them around for the crown, but could be slotted in there at like maybe the 3rd or 4th spot. Still early in the season, but so far off to a nice start.
Lady Falcons softball team will be back in action on Friday here against Crestview. You'll be able to watch the baseball game here against Crestview live and free on Friday. So looking forward to that, being back here at the facilities. Thank you for joining us here live and free on the OH Report. Jonathon Langdon, yours truly, alongside Brian Skowronski, and then also Brandon Powell running the cameras here today. And thanks to all of our sponsors scrolling through your screen one final time. They'll be with you all season long here for baseball and softball here in Falcon Country. See you next time.